It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Can't believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
On Wednesday's show, we spent a little time trying to figure out why Kat can't do her job. And the worst part is she's pulled her husband into this. What makes them complete degenerates? You're going to hear it in a couple of seconds of the podcast. Here we go. What's good with Grandma?
Okay, so I was thinking about it yesterday when I was doing it in my kitchen, doing this.
Doing what?
Doing this, what I'm about to tell you. Yeah, while I was saying it, I was like, stop talking. But I was making dinner yesterday, and my grandmother taught me so long ago that when you are cooking, just automatically put it in the dishwasher. Because when you're done eating, the last thing you want to do is do dishes. And so like as you're cooking, if you're done with the cutting board, rinse it off, put it into, some people just throw it all in the sink. And so when I was doing it yesterday, I'm like, oh, that would be a good topic. Like, what did you learn from grandma or grandpa that you still use today? And I've done that my whole life. And it makes me feel good. Like by the time we're done eating, all we have to put away are our plates and utensils or whatever we used for that meal. So what is something that you learned from your grandma?
My grandma told me that people will automatically judge you by your first impression is the way your home looks on the outside.
Oh, okay.
So I used to, when my grandma got a little bit older, I'd mow her lawn, right? I get $5 for mowing her lawn. I'd go there. I'd put my Walkman little foamy pads on, and I'd mow her lawn. She'd give me $5. I'd ride my bike home. But she had always said, people are going to, and you have to do a good job because people are going to judge me by the way you make the outside of my home look.
Oh, a lot of pressure.
You're right. And I was like 8, you know what I mean? And so I've always thought that, right? Like you get to a point in your life where you at one point you're going to let it go. You're going to be like, oh, I just don't have time for it. I got kids that are running around or whatever. But I try and carve out a little bit of time just to make sure it's looking nice. I'm constantly walking around our property looking for things that need to be touched up, and I don't let the grass get too bad. You know what I mean? Like I just think people, they judge you immediately by the way your home looks.
That's true. We've always been taught since we're younger, don't judge a book by its cover, but we do.
You do all the time.
I love driving up my driveway and having a nice house because this is your biggest investment. Like, why wouldn't you want it to look nice? I get frustrated with my neighbors, but I'm going to tell you, the ones to the left of us, their yard is awful. It's a jungle. There's like trash in it. But I've knocked on their door before, you could eat off their floor. So it was weird because I'm like, come on, take care of your outside because your inside is so nice.
Yeah, that always sticks in my head. Giselle, I appreciate you calling. What did we learn from Grandma or Grandpa?
Oh, gosh. It had to have been my abuela. My grandma was one of a kind. Yeah. She was a gem. She was the talk of the town because she had guys at her beck and call. She was
okay.
Let's go.
The lady to be, my friends. I mean, she taught me how to pick up guys. She taught me how to would do that casual walk and the little sly smile and oops, I'm so sorry, I dropped my keys. Oh my God, I'm so silly. And the fabulous red lipstick that she wore her entire life. It was her iconic signature, and everybody knew her. And it was just like people would whisper her name, and they just knew.
So before Instagram and OnlyFans came your grandma.
Oh, my gosh, yes. She was like just the classiest, most beautiful, funny, and she just had a way with not just men, with everyone. But it was her allure, and I just learned so much from her, and I'm grateful I had that role model. I mean, let's get real.
That is so impressive that like her tactics and ways transcended all these generations and still work for you today.
Exactly. Yep, absolutely. And it's gold.
Thanks to Grandma Hottie. We appreciate it. What did Grandma or Grandpa teach you that is just something still being used by you today?
We have some text. Daniel says, my grandpa taught me to play cribbage, and I used it to win a lot of goodies when I was locked up for 2 years.
Oh, better yet. Thanks, Grandpa.
Casey says, my grandma taught me how to stay organized. My parents were both messy, late, and not organized. I don't know how I survived. And then Steven says, my grandpa taught me how to do plumbing and electrical work, and now I own my own business and do it every day and saved a ton of money doing it myself when we built our house.
I love this. This was which grandma gave you the advice about the dishwasher?
My grandma Ellie. And she always said, and I use it to this day, and I thought about it yesterday, and I was like, let's open it up to what did your grandparents or grandma or grandpa teach you that you still use to this day? So when I'm cooking, I put everything, if I'm done with it, into the dishwasher. So then at the end of the meal, when you're stuffed, the last thing you want to do is a chore. And so all you have to do is when you're done with your plate, put it right in the dishwasher.
This works for me. My wife, when she cooks, it's like the Swedish Chef on the Muppets. There's just crap everywhere. I mean, it's just, I will use a pan. I will rinse it real quick. I'll throw it in the dishwasher. When I'm done cooking and it's time to eat, it looks like it did before we cooked. With my wife, it looks like a corporate kitchen at the end of the dinner rush.
Yeah, it would make me cry.
Everywhere. I want to say good morning to Gabby, who texted, my grandpa taught me you can catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. I lived to that quote.
It's very true. If you don't know what that means, you catch more bees with honey. You're nice to somebody, and then, maybe what you want will come to you instead of being nasty to somebody and expecting that.
But Gabby, on the other hand, you can catch a lot more flies with dead meat.
Oh, God, you make so many good points.
I just don't want to be the pessimist here real quick. Christy, one thing that Grandpa taught you that you're still living with?
Well, he always said if you keep the top half of your tank full instead of the bottom half, you'll never, ever run out of gas.
Oh, that is great. And I bet you're paranoid in the winter.
No, because I never let it get under a half a tank, ever.
Ever?
Ever. When I'm down to half a tank, I fill it back up like it's empty.
Jeez.
Coming up next.
It's Cat and JJ, and here's what's next.
Imagine driving with that kind of confidence.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I'm like, I can't believe I only have 12 miles left in this tank.
I will never be in that position. I like to live the way she lives, but I think if you have an electric car, that would give me anxiety too. Like always having to do the percentage and like map out how far you can go and where you could get electricity.
My wife does, and she trusts that like it's the gospel. And I do the math in my head because it's one thing that I really understand. And she constantly goes, I think Elon's smarter than you. And I'm like, I don't know. What if it's not today? What if not today?
Yeah.
Because then I'm like, who's pushing that car? This guy. Good morning. It's Kat and JJ. So Rihanna said she's constantly living in fear right now after this lady shot up her house for apparently no reason.
Yeah.
Shooting just occurred. Approximately 10 shots heard and an unknown person shouting code 3 incident. All units 83 responding closely from Santa Monica and PR believes the shots came from across the street of the upper gate. The PR does not have visual.
So this vehicle is a white Tesla, northbound on Coldwater. 10 gunshots fired from the vehicle at the gate. Code 3 incident 1932 RD809.
So this woman obviously has got some mental issues, and she thought she needed to do the world a favor by taking out Rihanna.
Yes. So this was not a woman that tried to get with A$AP Rocky. This was not someone that had been done wrong by Rihanna.
She had no connection to her.
No, it was just voices in her head. And she had even written her ex-husband the night before. And she was like, listen, I'm going to take care of this whole Rihanna thing. I'm going to make sure that, the rest of the world is safe from her because she's Satan, stuff like that. So, I mean, right there, that's when you feel helpless because you're like, God, I didn't say something to incite this. I didn't do anything. It just happened.
Fear of just going out in the world has got to be crippling.
Yeah. So this podcast she just did yesterday, she was talking about how she lives in fear constantly of this happening again. Maybe a copycat, maybe someone else that just wants to make headlines. And so she's like a prisoner in her own home.
We'd asked, is anyone else just kind of waking up living in fear? This text shook me from AG. She said, I'm not going to say her name. She said, my ex's current wife has verbally told me she's waiting for me to die. I live in fear that I'm being poisoned.
Oh, my God. How? I need to hear more from her. If she wants to call in.
If I really wanted to poison you, I could very easily.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
Why
saying,
did you look
I'm
right
not saying,
at
well,
me?
I'm just,
that was crazy.
I was talking to you, but I mean, imagine waking up every day and just having a fear that you might be, the target of something like this.
Yeah. I mean, stalking is a real thing. It will mess with your mind. Tess had texted, I was so afraid that my mom was going to take my kids. She had a mental health issue for years. And I told her that she could not see them until she got help. The help that she needed. She said she was going to go to their school and take them and I would never see them again. I was so paranoid every day that I would text their teacher just to make sure that everything was okay. I can't even imagine.
I can't imagine if that was a stranger, much less your mom.
Right. So if you have a scenario that you feel safe to share, we can disguise your voice. We can change your name if you want to. But have you ever truly been afraid of someone like Rihanna's just living every day, doesn't want her babies to be at the front of the house, You can't live like that.
A couple years ago, we ran across this unique skill that Kat has, and it really started when I would say we'd bring people on the show with us. I'd be like, hey, what's your name? They're like, oh, hey, my name is Brenda. And Kat would be like, Brenda, are you a nurse? She just like had this spidey sense about it. And we thought, let's really, really try this. All right. And to set the level straight, the only way this works is if you don't know Kat at all, right? Kids don't go to school together. You haven't like been to one of our remote broadcasts or an event and you've had a conversation. Like there's just no way that she could know what you do for a living.
All I need is your name. And then sometimes, very rarely though, I'll have to get your hair color, but it instantly comes to me.
All right, you're the first through. What's your first name?
Tim.
And there again is no way that Kat could know what you do for a living. No way on God's green earth.
Nah.
Okay, so I'm guessing your birth name is Timothy, though?
Yes.
Okay, so good. We got that straight. Kat, what do you think Tim does?
Tim's are pretty easy normally. So, Tim, you work with food. You're a chef?
Yep.
Wow, very cool. So, and how long have you been in this profession?
Probably about 8 years.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to make?
I like to do a lot of barbecue, so more like briskets.
Okay,
and
prove
do you get family and friends that constantly are like making you cook?
Yes.
And does it bother you?
Sometimes, yeah.
It was a few years back that we kind of made the revelation, at least I was a little surprised that when people would call the show, and we're probably the only radio station around that takes live calls, and so it was weird because I'd say, hey, what's your name? And they'd say it. Kat would be like, oh, really? You like working at the phone company? And I'd be like, wait, what? And they'd be like, yeah, I work at T-Mobile. I'm like, how do you know that? Kat was just
do.
It's very, very weird. And the only way to truly test this is for you to not know Kat, right? Your kids don't go to school. You don't end up at like the same YMCA or something like that. Call now if you've never met her. And I want to go to line 3. I know you've been holding for a long time. What's your name, sir?
Larry.
And again, just to set the record straight, there is zero chance Kat could know what you do for a living. There's no way she knows you.
Absolutely no way.
Okay, and
didn't even live here.
Oh, you don't even live here? Okay, this is perfect. Where do you live?
I do. I do. I grew up here and I live here now, but I did not live here for most of my life.
And just to make sure we're on the straight and narrow, is the real name Lawrence then?
No, it is not.
It's really just Larry. That's on your birth certificate.
Yep.
Okay,
it
Kat.
is. My dad was Lawrence, so he didn't want Junior.
Fair enough.
Got it.
All right. So, Kat, what are you feeling here on Larry?
For Larry, the double letter Larry. Larry, you work with fiber optics.
I have.
What do you do? What do you do now?
Well, I'm retired, but I did have a job where I spliced fiber optics.
Wow,
That is so creepy.
This is
and you tried to get one over on me, Larry.
because the dude's retired.
Yes.
Well, but I really only work. I work for a power company, but we use fiber optics in our communications. and I
That's
had to do
stupid,
it.
isn't it? This is just stupid.
That is stupid. That's stupid.
That is stupid.
I got to ask real quick. You said you grew up here and you're back here now. What brought you back? Why did you want to kind of wrap up life here?
Well, I was able to take a transfer, and it was close to our families, and yeah.
Or was it our show?
Not our show.
It's your show.
Thursday show full of free cash and Psychic Kim. She's going to be here during our live show from 7:30 till 8. If you've been sitting on a question you'd like to ask Psychic Kim, get it ready. 7:30 to 8, free psychic readings on our Thursday show. Right now, let's wrap up the podcast.
I love this story. When I heard it, I'm like, how inspiring. And, if you have a great come up story, if you are somewhere where you never thought you would be as far as like a career or where your life is now, what you came from, I'd love to hear that because those stories are amazing. This woman, her name is Shay Taylor. She started when she was 18 as a janitor at this hospital, now coming back as a doctor.
I would have never known starting at 18 as a janitor in the hospital that I'll be sitting here as a doctor, going back to the same hospital that I was born at.
I remember parking and wearing my brown janitor top.
I knew that I wanted to make a change.
You know what? Kudos to that crew at that hospital, too, because a lot of times you have a job like that, and once you leave it, you're like, I'm never going back there. Mm-hmm. And now she wants to go back there and help out. And I bet she's the best person in the world to the cleaning staff.
Yeah, but also what a great place to start. And I bet she soaked so much in working as a janitor and hearing lingo and learning and asking questions, all the while making money to put herself through Yale. Which
that's crazy. So she starts there at 18. She goes in as a freshman at Yale. She does her undergraduate. She's working there and helping to pay it off. She goes to med school and then comes back there. That's pretty cool. So my dad kind of had the same story when he got done with the military. He worked at a place that made hydraulic stuff, and he started in the shop.
Okay.
And then he ended up being like a salesperson, and then ended up being one of the engineers.
Yeah.
And he kind of had like the same thing. Like he didn't have formal engineering training. Like he didn't have any training in the military as far as that went. But all of a sudden, like he's like, nope, this is how you build a hydraulic pump. And like it was the same thing because he was with the same good group of people, and they kind of kept harvesting people.
What do you think of your come up story? What do you think he'd think? You failed out of two schools.
To my dad's final days.
Yeah.
He was always like, we're going back to law school, right? And I'm like, no, Dad, I'm on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And he was always so disappointed.
I bet he was waiting for the joke to be done.
Right? He was like, oh, he's playing the long game here. Wait, what's the punchline's going to be awesome. My mom saw it as something that I like to do.
Yeah.
And so she was happy for me. But it wasn't that he wasn't happy. He was just like, really? Like, I thought so much more of you. Like, do you want to change your last name maybe? Do we want to go with
Doctors have so much pressure. Lawyers have so much pressure. Like the only pressure that we have is to make sure that we can go to the bathroom in the amount of time the song plays.
Can you
get
dump
back.
in 3 minutes?
That's it. So I'm glad I don't have that daily pressure. Like how heavy?
Outside of that, just like, are you paying attention or doing scratchers? I want to play a fun little game with you based on the headline a lot of us have read over the last couple of days. If you missed it, quadruple amputee, cornhole champ, accused of fatally shooting a man while driving, is a legitimate headline. I feel like these are the end days.
It's now in my Google search.
If you've read the Bible and you got to Revelation, there's a spot where they start saying, you'll start seeing the signs. To me, the quadruple amputee cornhole champion, fatally shooting a man while driving, seems like we're on our way there.
So I read headlines every single day. And this one, I honestly read it as like an early April Fool's
Thought it was a
joke
spoof?
yesterday. But it's not. And I'm watching video of how he throws the cornhole bags. I mean, it's pretty phenomenal.
Legitimate.
What has not held him back?
Overcoming some unbelievable hardships, only to fatally shoot a man while driving.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I need answers.
Based on this,
okay,
I have decided to put together some other unbelievable headlines that have been in the news, and then I made some up, and I want to see if you can tell me whether these are real or fake headlines, Kat.
Okay.
Kids make nutritious snacks. Is that a real or made-up headline?
I'm going to say real.
It is real, yes.
It doesn't grab me.
Some journalistic giant thought, hey, you know what? We can get a lot of clicks with the headline of kids make nutritious snacks. Kat, true or false? This is a real headline. Prostitutes appeal to the Pope.
True.
It is a true headline, yes.
How could they not?
No. They made an appeal to the Pope to help out their cause.
Then you should have said
they weren't appealing to the Pope. They appealed to the Pope. True or false, Kat? Area man accidentally joins cult, stays for snacks.
Considering I would do that, I'm going to say fake.
It is fake. Yeah, you're right. I made that one up. Kat, is this a real or false headline?
Okay.
Tornado rips through cemetery. Hundreds dead.
That's very funny. I'm going to say you made that up.
No, that's an actual true headline.
Hundreds dead.
Hundreds dead after a tornado rips through the cemetery. True or false? This is a real headline. Man trains for marathon. Forgets to sign up.
That's a real one.
No, I made that one up.
You did?
That's
That's actually really funny. And I bet that has happened.
True or false? Aliens land. Leave after reading comments section.
Real.
No, I made that one up.
You did?
Yeah.
Are all the rest made up?
No, not all the rest are made up. Is this true or false, Kat? Influencer cancels self, but gains followers.
Influencer?
Influencer
Okay.
cancels self, but gains followers.
That is true.
No, but I made that one.
God.
How about this one? Local high school dropouts cut in half.
Made up.
No, that's a true one.
See, I'm going to fall for everything. I'm turning into one of those people.
All right, final one.
Yeah.
World's most boring man finally finishes telling story. Is that true or false for a headline?
That is true.
No, I made that up. You didn't do very well this morning.
I did not do very well. I feel like a flat earther. Like I would just believe anything.
Talking to a guy at the airport the other day. He's a luggage handler. He throws the bags on and off the conveyor belt when they come off the planes.
Yeah.
And he said it was his worst job ever. And I think we look at people in Mexico and expect that they love their job so much because there's a vision we have in our head like, oh, they're just happy to be working. This guy was clearly not happy to be working.
Yeah, I don't know why we think that.
Oh, just because you understand most of the Mexican economy is pretty rough. And you think if you got a job, you're thankful for it, you're putting bread on the table. And if you got a job at the airport in Cancun, that's probably a really good paying job in that economy. And I was like, and he was just no bones about it. Worst job he ever had. What's the worst job you ever had, Kat?
I think the worst job I had, and only because of the elements, was that skate park. It was so hot. And I didn't have, it was either sit outside in the sun on a lawn chair or sit inside this like shipping container, metal, didn't have any windows. They just put it out there for like the paperwork, like the waivers that the kids would sign. Then I'd have to lock it up. But it was like so hot. It was just a hot box.
Farming. It was just helping on my uncle's farm. Just baling hay, riding beans. I have the utmost respect for farmers because you work your ass off your entire life. And sometimes you have a little bit to hand down to the next generation. I could never do it. It's way too much hard work for me. Amy, worst job you ever had was what?
Oh, working at this warehouse in, it was over by Plymouth, and I'm not going to say the name of it.
No, let's not.
But they hired my sister and I together, and they made, you know, that coyote food that you can get. It looks like it's nasty. Anyway, we made that. We had to like these huge bins and stir it with this huge stir, you know, and we had to get up on a ladder in order to be able to get the spoon inside of it because it was such a huge cooking like.
It sounds
bin.
smelly.
I don't know what else to call
it stink?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
It stunk. It was hot in there. Me and my sister would just the Lucille Ball show where they're throwing the all the stuff around because they couldn't get into the boxes fast enough. That's me and my sister.
Just couldn't catch up ever. You were always way behind.
Nope. So I was at the end with the boxes, and I just started chucking the boxes behind me.
How long?
What is coyote food?
Are you talking like Howlin' Coyote chili?
Yes, that's it.
I love that stuff.
Howlin' Coyote.
You've never had Howlin' Coyote
had it.
chili?
Is it spicy?
Yeah, it's very good. It's hot. It'll burn your mouth.
Yes. Yep.
You make it sound so appealing.
Well, if I'd have known you were making it, Amy, I don't think I'd have eaten as much back in my younger days.
Right.
But how long do you stay out a job like this that you hate, even though you're with your sister?
I made it through. We made it through. My sister probably would have made it through further, but I made it 3 weeks.
That's it. Not even a month. You didn't even get 2 paychecks out of the deal.
Nope.
Good Lord.
Nope. It was just the worst job ever.
Perfect. I'm so glad you called. I hope you have a great morning.
Thanks, you guys too.
I love that's the word that breaks my heart. I love Howlin' Coyote chili.
I've never heard of this. Can you buy it in a regular store?
I don't know. When I lived when I was finishing up school in Minneapolis, we had it all the time.
What makes it so good?
I don't know. You could buy it. It was when we got it. It was frozen. It looked like a TV dinner.
Yeah.
And you just throw it in the microwave for 60 seconds. It was my roommate and I lived off that stuff for half a year.
Oh.
I thought it was delicious, and now that I'm hearing about it, I'm seconding my guesses. The worst job ever. Jordan, what was it?
Victoria's Secret.
No! What? You're breaking my heart!
No, you have to explain why that was horrible.
Maybe it was because I was bad at it, or I don't know, but they would, like, you know, they were so picky about how you folded the frickin' underwear, and everything had to be in uniform just for everybody to come in and absolutely frickin' destroy it.
Yeah.
And then the bras, that part was easy, so I wasn't good at really, like, the front of the store stuff, so they said, okay, well, you can be a checkout lady. So, but the problem with that is, like, I kept forgetting all the security tags on all the underwear, or sorry, not the underwear, the bras.
Yeah.
And so we would be so busy, and I would be checking all these people out. They'd walk to the front, then the alarms would go off. They had to come back, stand in line, and I would have to take the security tags off. And then I worked over Black Friday, and that was when Black Friday was still kind of a thing, you know. And I have never in my life seen grown women act the way they did. They were, like, busting at the gate to get into the Victoria's Secret.
Were the deals
Those are
that
nice
great
panties.
at Victoria's Secret on Black Friday?
I mean, yeah, you know, they always have their, like, I think it was like, what, 5 for $35 undies, and then it was like 8 for $35, and apparently those 2 extra pairs of undies just set something off in them little middle-aged women.
Did you ever have perverted guys like JJ that would be like, listen, my wife is about, and then they'd hold their hands up this size.
Is that a thing?
Can you help me?
No, it's more like the creepy old men with the young little women that would come in and, like, hover over their lady friend, and then the lady friend would buy whatever she wanted, and then the creepy old man would just pay for whatever.
Oh,
it was just uncomfortable.
So the job was bad.
I lasted.
Go ahead. How long?
9 days.
Wow. Do you think that they're happy you're gone? Because I feel like maybe you caused some problems. Yeah.
Were you asked to leave, or did you leave on your own, Jordan?
I honestly, I think that was the only job I've, I clocked out one day and never came back.
Listen, I think you're great. I'm glad you listen. I'm glad you called this morning. But, Kat, if you put together all of what Jordan said, was the problem Vicky's or Jordan?
I'm thinking Jordan. That's why I asked that, because
yes.
wherever you were, it didn't
not my
work.
Cup of tea.
What is your cup of tea?
What
do you do now to pay the rent?
I do hair.
Okay. And you enjoy that?
Yeah. I do, yeah. I like not sitting behind a desk 24/7. I was not made to do that. Yeah, I really enjoy it. It's, like, creative and it's fun. And
do you ever have to deal with the babies that just scream their head off?
no, I work at a higher end salon,
Okay,
so we don't really get a whole lot of kids cuts, but I don't mind them. I'm pretty good with kids.
All right.
so.
Last question: do you ever go back to Victoria's Secret to shop for yourself?
No, because it's a freaking scam.
Okay, Jesus, all right.
They charge way too much for all their stuff.
Okay, well, thanks for making sure they never sponsor our show again, but I'm glad you called today. I have a great day, Jordan.
Yeah.
So, as one of my jobs outside of the morning show, I kind of schedule the music and just kind of keep an eye on the radio station as a whole. And depending on where you're listening to our show from, Kat does the midday show, so she's here from 10 to 2, and so I'm just kind of sitting in my office yesterday, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that seems like something was missing. And so I'm like, damn it, did I miss something? And I run into the studio real quick, and as I'll throw open the door,
all right,
I see Kat and her husband degenerately looking down, oblivious to everything else going on in the universe, including her radio show, feverishly scratching away at scratchers. What was the reason for that? I mean, first
I wanted to get them done. You gave them to me on my birthday, and I have
still
not
haven't scratched them?
And I just did yesterday. I needed help. Okay, so I knew I had that spot open. I had a plan for that spot,
but the lottery took over.
This is legitimately the only break I've ever missed. In the years I've been doing that time slot, and you walk in and look at us like, why does this happen all the time?
Well,
that's the look on your face. I was like, I didn't even sweat it because I never do that.
And that is not what I was sweating, but it was like you ever walked in on your mom and dad?
Doing it?
Getting after it?
No.
And you just have that shock. I was just shocked. I walked in and I was like, what could be wrong with the radio station? And I see you two knuckleheads fist deep in lottery tickets, just scratching away like your life depended on it.
I had all those silver sliver marks on my palm, and I needed to know how much I was going to win.
Okay, how much did I have to at least know? Did you win anything?
$13.
Okay, well, you got 13 more lottery tickets then, right?
No. I just went to...
You're going to get the money?
Yeah, I just.
Well, you always got to go get more tickets.
What? You don't roll over scratchers. You roll over pull tabs.
No, you roll over scratchers.
I've never heard that.
Really quick, if you're listening right now and you get scratchers, what do you do? Let's say you get $13. You go get 13 more. Right? Am I wrong about this?
I've never heard of people with scratchers do that.
I have never brought in a scratcher that's a winner and said, give me the money.
I would have rolled it over even if it were maybe the Mega and Powerball. If I got like the Powerball number or just like one number match, I'd be like, yeah, get me another one.
But you won't do that with a scratcher.
I used it like we stopped at Quick Trip on our way to get my dad. And so I let Liam get some chicken rollers. Listen, I've introduced him to a whole new world.
You are corrupting your child.
But I promise today I will do my job to the best of my ability, and I will not let any break roll. So.
Real quick, if you get a scratcher and it's a winner, what do you do with it? That's what I want to know. Do you roll it back over, or do you take the money? I would get it if it would have been $500. I wouldn't have bought 500 more lottery tickets, but it's just $13.
Yeah.
I just don't know why you didn't get 13 more, because you could have hit 1,000.
But then that'd mean I'd have to get back at scratching and I'd miss more breaks.
I'd miss my job more.
Yes.
I couldn't do that on my own free time. Just real quick, verify that you get more. Yeah, see? Craig right away texted in. You got to roll them off.